Hey, what's up, guys? You're listening to the It Takes a Village podcast. I'm Ashley, your host. This is where the struggles are real, the callings are heavy, the kids are sticky. We come together because it takes a village, and this is your tribe. Hey, guys, what's up? Hope you're having an awesome day. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the dreaded after school in the car conversation between you and your kiddos, and it usually goes a little something like this. It usually goes you asking them, how was your day? Or I don't know, or fine, as they look out the window, right? So it's like usually most of the time it's I don't know. So I came up with 30 questions that they have to answer. So, and I've done this with my own kiddos because I don't want those fine, I don't know, I guess, I don't know, whatever, answers. I don't want those quick answers because I leave the question open-ended. I'm sure eventually I will have to revise these because my kids will outsmart me to make sure that they don't actually have to respond to me as they get older. But for right now, these are what works. And so I wanted to share it with you. Let's get to it. So question number 1 is, what was one kind thing today? So I remind my kiddos when I drop them off that at the end of the day, I'm going to ask them about this. And sometimes they even bribe them with something. I know that's bad, but I know when my daughter went to camp, especially if your kiddos are shy, I would say, hey, we can't get a snow cone after camp if you haven't met one new person in your group, asked her what school she goes to, how old she is, and what her favorite food is. And so I do the same thing with at school because, if you have a child who's kind of hesitant to introduce themselves to new kids or to any kid, doing it younger and making it a habit as they're younger is so much easier than trying to start when they're in high school or in junior high. So I just try to get them to do it and to face their fears now with anything. So what was one kind thing you did today? Number 2 is, what was something that was really funny today? And then number 3 is, who did you want to play with today but didn't get a chance to? And maybe you guys want to write these down, or maybe some of these will stick out in your head because I'm sure as you go to Carline today, these will help generate that conversation that you want to, instead of making yourself feel like you're trying to cut cheese, like a block of cheese with a spork, trying to pull an answer out of them. So number 4 is, which person in your class did you have the most fun working with? And then you get to know their friends and their students, other people in their class, and then they can't help but tell you the stuff that they overheard or who did what and stuff. Number 5, how did you include a friend today? We are big on being includers, and so usually when they walk out the door or I'm letting them go into the classroom, I tell them or I remind them to be includers in that, hey, if you notice anybody being left out, if you notice anybody not having somebody to play with, yada yada, hey, let's reach out, let's step up, and let's be a good friend. Number 6, did anyone upset you today? I feel like this one is going to pay huge when they get older, because if we're used to talking about their feelings younger, then when they become teenagers and they're pissed off at a friend, or there's drama, or their feelings are hurt, usually it comes off as them being really PO'd at us, and then we can't get any information out of them. So I want them to know now that they can tell me when they're upset, embarrassed, sad, or whatever. But also, like I said, these aren't open-ended questions, so they have to answer them. Unless they say nothing and they're really honestly saying nothing, but you know your kid best, and you can tell when that nothing is true and when that nothing is just attitude and they don't want to answer you. And then you can kind of push into that. Question number 7 is, what was the funniest thing your teacher said today? Question number 8 is, what was your favorite part of PE or recess, and how do you play it? So if they tell you oh, we played such and such game, pretend you don't know. Or if you really don't know, really ask them how do they play it, because they're going to find it really awesome that you're really interested in the things that they're doing throughout the day. And question number 9, if you could change one thing about your day, what would it be? Question number 10, who was super fun to play with today? 11 is who did you sit by at lunch today? That's an oldie but a goodie. 12, who would you like to sit by at lunch tomorrow? 13, did you have any embarrassing moments? What was the best thing you ate during lunch? What was the worst? 15 is did you help anyone today? 16, what silent reading book are you reading this week? Were there any of your classmates sad today? Was anyone eating or playing alone today, and how can we make sure that they aren't alone tomorrow? 19 is what other job do you think your teacher would be really good at? And 20 is did anyone make you feel like they didn't understand you today? Another question is did you hear a good joke today and ask them to tell you? 22 is what did you learn about that we can Google when we get home? And my kids love that question because they love to like quote unquote research things. And then, you can act like you're interested, or maybe you truly are interested, but just the fact that you're engaging with what they're learning about gets them really excited. 23, what is one thing you want to get done tomorrow? 24 is, was there anything that made you upset today? 25 is, what are you looking forward to tomorrow? Are you prepared for and then you can insert like a test, a project, a presentation, etc. tomorrow. And is there any way I can help you? I think that kind of putting yourself out there already, saying like, is there any way you can help them is really cool. And they'll really appreciate that, especially as they get older. Who in your class do you think you could have been nicer to today? These questions are a little bit dangerous because they obviously don't want to tell you if they did something wrong or if they feel ashamed about, something they did or embarrassed or whatever. And so when I ask these kinds of questions, I really try to not make an expression that shows them that I'm either surprised, upset, or mad or whatever, and just kind of like go, okay, so like, let's talk about that. Like, what can we do, or how come this happened, or, but be prepared. Like, if you don't want those open-ended, if you don't ask those open-ended questions and you don't want those one-word answers, you're going to get like legit answers from your kids. And you have to keep it cool. Like you just gotta keep it cool because otherwise they're not gonna answer. They're gonna ignore your questions. What was your favorite subject today, or what was your favorite thing you learned today? 29 is what is something interesting you learned or heard about today, and 30 is what is something you could have done better at today. So hopefully, I know I went through those really fast, and that was a lot of questions. This is on the blog. So if you go to theashcarroll.com, you can go to the blog and you will see the post 30 questions to ask your kiddos about school without asking how was your day. And then there you can kind of remind yourself before you get in the car, or maybe you scroll through as you're in car line, because the car line is extremely awful. I know, and you don't have anything to do but scroll anyways as you're waiting, so you might as well get prepared for when your kiddos come in the car, right? So I hope that was helpful for you guys.